Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. All right. Let's start from the beginning. As the room is still filling up, which is great. Everybody's fed and probably tired from all the sessions we had before. We make the best out of it, right? I mean, it's 25 degrees outside, and the country I'm coming from, it's always raining. It's cold. I live in London, and I came here for only 2 days. I regret that I'm leaving tomorrow because I haven't seen anything. I just walked from the hotel here, and everybody is happy and having a good time. But anyway, you have to sit here as well and listen to me, which is good too. So let's talk about programmatic and e-commerce, and which I consider as programmatic commerce. This is, the first time we talk about, I talk about programmatic commerce, where I think that's beyond programmatic in general. And how to buy efficient, how to, address your audiences with the right message, etc., etc. But first, we have to determine, we have to determine what. Sorry about that. We're going to talk about consumer-centric marketing, about the Internet of Things, and that everybody's a data hotspot, basically. So this is a combination how programmatic commerce works for me. And before we talk about programmatic commerce, I'm sorry about that. I totally forgot about that slide. We need to determine what programmatic actually is, right? Most of the people have a different concept of what programmatic actually is. It's a trading desk. Does it belong to the agency? Is it a brand trading desk? How do we deal with that? No, actually, the concept of programmatic is that we buy, with a platform or a platform of platforms, consolidated media, automated, which can be real-time bidding, or can be reserved by, across all the media channels to be, able to react in real time with the right message to your audience. Well, depending, on the region, and I know that you guys are still at the beginning. I brought programmatic with Google to Europe, and we had a lot of challenges, and it's beneficial for you guys to be better than what we did, the mistakes we did. So in general, why would I buy media if and address that to everybody? The same message to a whole bunch of people that are not relevant for my brand. Why would I do that? So what we need to understand is how real-time bidding works. Real-time bidding belongs to programmatic. So in the past, we were buying in bulk. We were buying and addressing, as I just shown, the same ads to any person that we could reach. We would buy 500 million impressions. We address that to the same publisher, to the same audience. They would see the same ad, although there was no relevancy, there was no interest. So with real-time bidding, which belongs to programmatic, we have the chance to use algorithms, to use data to address the right ad to the right person. So here, grandpa, for example, was interested in travel, is more interested to see travel ads, where his granddaughter probably likes sports ads. So it's all about the concept, showing the right ad, the right time, the right place. And again, it is not only real-time bidding. Programmatic means as well the automation part will help you to buy across all the channels, reserved and non-reserved, biddable and non-biddable inventory. What do we need for that? We need data. When we started from a global perspective, bringing programmatic, we started in the US and then bring it to Europe, which is for me, Germany and the UK. We started to work with third-party data. Third-party data is data like publishers, distribute through a distributor, which could be an Adobe, a Blue Sky, which they resell to agencies or other brand trading desks that operate programmatic campaigns. how accurate are those data sets? You don't know how the data is collected. You don't know the techniques. So the actual value is always a risk. So what we do, in regions like the US right now, we're focusing on first and second party data, which is a great topic for you guys, because you can start having that discussions with your brands today. Sorry. How valuable their data assets are. First party data, the better you are in content with first party data, the more efficient you will buy media. And the better you will be with addressing people with the right content. So everything moves from a media-centric and a brand-centric perspective to a consumer-centric perspective. Because for years, creative and media would not work together. And the only way we can tackle this, we can solve this and be really meaningful to our consumers today is if we focus on the consumer besides the brand and the placement. Because finding the right audience is not a big deal anymore. It's just, what I show them. So, I need data specialists. I need people who are able to read insights. The data scientist is not necessarily somebody who's able to read insights. I need people who are able to optimize, traders. I need people who create audiences in an ongoing ecosystem and optimizing on and on and on. So 2 pillars are important for me at least. Data and content. Both need to work hand in hand, otherwise we're not meaningful. Why do I say that? We recently released a study where we show that 60% of content worldwide is not really meaningful. Right? 74% of the brands we have globally could disappear overnight because we don't address with the right message the audiences that need or they should buy products of our brands. When I had this slide the first time, I only had 3 pillars here, which is scale, technology, and data. For me, this is only 50% of the game. The other 50% are content and people. If you don't have the right content on the delivery part, which is in your ad, you need to make sure that you have the same on-site as well on the brand side, because it will not be meaningful. You don't create meaningful data to activate that to be efficient and effective. And I only can encourage you, what we missed out in the beginning is invest in people. There's not enough talent in the world right now to understand the whole ecosystem of programmatic and where it's going to go. Besides things like availability, transparency, and all these topics, we need people who are going away from fragmented knowledge to a holistic view of how things work. Because otherwise, things like programmatic commerce would probably not work. So again, to content, let me quote will.i.am, who said 3 years ago in the Cannes Lions, regardless of what your metric says, we're not paying attention to it if you don't add value to people's lives. I don't give 2 shits about your advertising. Will.i.am. Pretty rough, but he's right. One of the problems we have is ad blocking. I don't know how accurate that is in your region, but it is a problem, right? 2014 to 2015, we had a year-on-year growth of 41%. We had a revenue loss of $20 billion US dollars in 2015. Estimation in 2016 is $40 billion. Right? Content is not free. But it needs to be meaningful on the one hand. Especially millennials are the ones who are like to block if they feel annoyed by advertising. And if any of you ever have been on booking.com, you know what I'm talking about. Obviously nobody's traveling, so you guys travel, right? Come on. So we need to understand that we need to go from an old model, which I know it's happening here, it's happening everywhere, because it's not easy to swap. Understand that we need different strategies to address audiences, or even younger audiences, to engage with our products. So we need to go away from informing, persuading, and reminding to a new model, which is demonstrating, involving, and Empowering. Empowering, what I mean is motivate, right, to buy a product across the consumer journey. Retargeting is not really an effective methodology to sell your products. Why would I be interested in a product that I already was interested in before? And retarget you, across multiple devices, across multiple channels, which means my frequency is going to be endless, and I will be not happy with the brand. Looking at the programmatic ecosystem on the media side, if we swap now over to commerce, we need to understand that programmatic is everywhere. Right? Your Google Calendar, who tells you need to leave your home to meet, to meet your meeting, the people you're supposed to meet on time. I mean, the car you drive today, who really thinks that he's still driving his car today? Right? Data is optimizing the way you drive, at least in the new cars. Okay. Your smart home, that's all data-driven optimization, and it belongs logically to programmatic. And how do I tackle that into advertising? Yes, of course, Internet of Things, connectivity. Every connected device generates data and can improve my marketing strategies, but as well as challenges, because we need to reshape our thinking how we address advertising. So there's a few stats. Gartner estimated this year the forecast of 8.4 billion things to be connected in 2017. 20 billion by 2020. We split that up by B2B and B2C. Now we have 5.24 billion devices connected, which means not people, but devices. If I look at me, I counted this morning and we have over 10 devices at home, on every level. You can get a smartphone, a tablet, you can look something up, you can listen to music, and everything is connected. So you have to consider that these devices connect valuable data. That's valuable first-party data. And we need to understand that, as I mentioned before, one person has multiple devices, that the traditional sales funnel, which is a V here, where the guys have exploded, however, is not relevant anymore. We need to understand that we need to build strategies and work with data across the ecosystem of devices linked to one person to address them at the right moment across the consumer decision journey. A little tweet here, a little YouTube video there, a little display at that, and not everything on the same time, overloading the consumer. Let's have a look, at the consumer journey at a traditional sales funnel. So think about that. If I'm so connected, in devices, I buy stuff, geolocation, all these things, does that change my habit in consuming things? Right? Will I need awareness in the future as much, as I would need consideration more? Because in the future, habits, algorithms, which we have in the cookie web, for example, right? A certain user behavior determines you in a group, which that means you're an audience, and then I can target you. But a behavior in real time can be adapted as well. So it means, let me give you an example. I buy toothpaste every 2 weeks. It's by the same brand. And if I put a taxonomy around that and say, I always want the best price on this brand, do I need to really care about that product in the future? Do I need awareness? No. I need consideration, and I need service to take care of it. Services that sell the product to me in any kind of way, in a bundle or in best price, best delivery, etc., etc. Think about it. I don't need to think about a brand like toothpaste anymore because it's coming anyway every 2 weeks. The same for any product that is building a habit. So we need to think, how do we address that to our future clients? Because they don't care anymore at one point. Sorry. Can you hear me better now? Yeah. So, the best in place, the best example is Amazon, of course. Amazon dash buttons, my evil friends, which I think I have 10 of them, and they're not cheap. They cost £5 a piece. You know, we have them all over the house, but you know, you just click on them. So Amazon went away from online to offline, you know, building those buttons where you can just push on the button. The next thing we have the delivery. I don't know if you have that here yet, but you know, it's useful, but it can be annoying when you have a 2-year-old always pushing on the button, right? So people just would listen, kids. Sorry, kids would just listen to their parents, but that doesn't always work. And now we go a step further. You know, Amazon invented the dash pen, basically. So besides they tracking you in your real-time life, how your habit is, how often you push that button, and you know, how often it goes into your basket. Now, I can use that pen and I go to my fridge, and it goes into my shopping basket. And that's how Amazon is learning my shopping behavior in real time. And you can adapt that example to anything. Amazon is the only company right now that goes away from saying, everybody wants to go into e-commerce. Amazon says, no, we need shops. Because Amazon has the service model that allows people to build, you know, a shop system where they take care of administration, logistics, everything around that. So I guess, you know, my assumption is that we will have in the future smaller shops that scale locally or globally and being, you know, profitable again because they were dying out, or at least in the UK and Germany and the US. Because the big shops would come in like Walmart and, you know, take over. But you know, with services like Amazon, you can tackle it. You can solve that challenge. And especially with Amazon Go, this project they have in the US, where you just walk in, you take your items, you walk out. But again, you know, for Amazon, interesting new information. You go on a shop, you get, you know, the second you walk in, you get registered. You look at the products, time spent with the product, the way you move, fast in, fast out, you know. They build a profile, a digital fingerprint around that in real life. So what's going to happen? Probably, you know, Echo knows you better than your wife one day. You know, and it's happening. Nobody of you guys is surprised, which is good, but it's happening. If you go on Netflix, you get suggestions. You know, if you go on Amazon, you get new suggestions. You know, sometimes an algorithm knows better what you need than partner. Don't tell this to my wife, but she wouldn't like that. So algorithms and taxonomies take over, right? I can determine what I need. I basically just need the service tool, which could be Amazon Prime, and I can say, every time you have a good review about this product, put it to my basket. It's possible. It's happening. So we need to think and rethink how we address advertising in the commerce world. And everybody of you is a data generator. I mean, if all of you guys have a phone, a smartphone, I guess, and you know, and you generate data every day. You know, you delete your cookies on the desktop. You know, the second you go on a new website, you have 100 cookies on your website. You know, there's no way of getting out of it. You use a tablet or mobile phone, your UDID is linked to your person, to you as a persona, I mean. So it's your own responsibility as well to be sensible with your own data, right? And all these assets, social, commerce, Google Wallet or Apple Wallet, you know, content I consume, all these leave a fingerprint, a briquette that determines the person I am. It basically tells, you know, a machine learning engine who I am as a person, and what I need, and what I want, and what I could like, and even health. So everything of these, you know, data points can optimize my life. Let's look at an example. When I looked up for names in Serbia, Vlado came up, but somebody said to me it's Vlada, but I don't know. let's call him Vlado. Vlado is a big fan of me, right? He has a picture of me in his bedroom. You know, scary enough that it's in his bathroom. He gets notified by his coffee machine. His coffee machine says, buddy, listen, I'm broken, you know, I just called services, they're gonna come by, gonna repair me. And by the way, you're out of coffee, I'm gonna order coffee. So it's cool. I don't need to engage with that problem. I get up, I walk to my fridge, open the fridge, and the fridge tells me, buddy, listen, you're out of these ingredients. You know what? Don't worry about it. Take care of it. I sent that information to your wife and the shopping cart, and she will know that it will be delivered today at 5 p.m. You just add it to the basket. It's crazy, right? So Vlado drives to work, and you know, his second wife, the digital assistant, tells him, buddy, your son's birthday is coming up. But instead of him thinking, giving the responsibility to Vlado, thinking, what could I buy for my son? Data is making the decision for him. You need a water gun. He's like, yeah, right. He needs a water gun. Order it. When does it come? Don't worry, it's gonna be in the shopping basket for the 5 p.m. delivery. I don't have to take care of anything. So the delivery guy comes, anywhere I am, any location. I don't need to be at home. He comes to my car, he gets a customized pin, and then he puts the shopping bag in, and I get a confirmation, well, Vlado gets a confirmation that it has been delivered. That's programmatic commerce, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, it's possible. It's tested already in the US. We'll test it in Europe. These things will make you overthink. How do I advertise? How can I address new products to people when they don't think about that anymore? So the key takeaways. Come on, open up. Are programmatic commerce is changing the advertising landscape. First-party data, I just encourage you, talk to your clients and address that. When you go and somebody wants to do programmatic as campaigns, the first question you should ask: how much traffic do you have on your website? How great is your content? How dynamic is that? Because without first-party data, you will not be effective. Programmatic commerce will help generate relevant content and precise targeting. So we're not talking about targeting, you talk about precise targeting. Less volume, precise targeting, higher eCPM, with a higher likelihood to convert. And humans are data hotspots. Again, everybody's responsible for what he shares, how many apps he has, and if you don't read the terms of your app, your data can be shared with anybody, which is a challenge. And the consumer decision journey, awareness will play a smaller role. It will still play a role, but a smaller role, of course. And for me, the focus will be more on consideration, engagement, loyalty. And number 7, algorithms and bespoke taxonomies will influence our decision making in the future. It's your job to make sure that those taxonomies are right. If you have any questions, if you want to talk to me after this conference, you can reach me on LinkedIn. And I'm here the whole day before I leave this beautiful country. Thank you for inviting me here. And that's basically it from my side.
Nekih pitanja, neko vam nešto, podignite ruku samo. Evo imamo pitanje, we have a question. Ko može, molim vas, mikrofon samo. Izvolite.
Thank you for the very nice presentation. In this new programmatic world, do we need new KPIs?
Yes. You need look, CPM, CPL, CPA, those are old metrics that don't matter anymore. For me, when we talk about automation and consolidation and transparency, where a CMO of tomorrow sees exactly what is happening with his money, you need to talk about market share, revenue uplift. Those KPIs are relevant for me. least. Any more questions? Before I go on this side? I'm just kidding.
Okay. Nema više pitanja? Ne? Thank you once again, Mr. Houssaini. Molim za aplauz.